What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part today. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because this video will be taking a look at the last summer anime of 2021, which really caught my attention with its simple story of reliving your past, and that would be Remake Our Life. So this anime came out this past summer, and the story follows Kyoya Hashiba, an inspiring game developer who's sort of regretting almost every decision that has led him to rock bottom. When he was in high school, he chose to go to a more general university rather than a more artistic one in hopes of becoming a game developer, which then later on down the line led him to work for a second-rate video game company that got shut down. But that's okay, because by some miracle chance, he manages to get a job at a top-tier level video game company. That is until his department gets shut down, forcing everyone to get laid off, including him. Man, this guy just can't catch a break. So after he moves back with his parents, he starts to begin to wonder what his life would have been like had he had gone to that art university. Who knows, maybe he would have been part of the platinum generation, which is often referred to as the creative generation, where the people who wanted to become a singer, writer, director, or artist ended up being famous. Well, the following morning, he wakes up 10 years into the past on the day we got accepted to both the regular and artistic university, realizing that he now has a chance to not only relive his college years, but to also avoid making the same mistakes as before. Kyoya decides to enroll in the art school where he can pursue his dream of becoming a successful video game developer. And then the show pretty much takes off from there as we see Kyoya relive his college years with all the current knowledge he has of the future. Along the way, he makes a couple of friends who are also interested in pursuing a career in the arts, where we have a writer, artist, and a singer. And for the majority of it, the show is pretty much uplifting as we get to watch Kyoya literally remake his life. Also, one of the things that I liked about this anime is that it really does tackle a question that I'm pretty sure a lot of us have asked ourselves from time to time. If you can go back in time to redo your life, would you do it? I actually remember having this sort of conversation with my friends where we all started talking about what our lives would have been like had we had done things differently. And from what I got from that conversation, there's nothing wrong with asking ourselves that question from time to time, as it is really easy for our curiosity to take over, where we begin to wonder what other lives could we have lived out. I'll give you an example. True story, at one point I almost became a model. In the spring of 2015, I was walking around the mall where a runway show was being set up, and I actually remember seeing several flyers where you could fill one out, put in a box where you could be selected to be a model for the show. As a joke, I filled out a flyer, and a couple days later, I get a call from the people in charge saying that they want me to be a part of the show. But for whatever reason, I kindly said no to them. Every now and then, I sometimes think about, you know what, I wonder what would have happened had I done that show. I also have these sort of thoughts about school too, where sometimes my mind begins to wander off, and I start to wonder what would it have been like had I done things differently at school. And that's when this anime literally reached into my soul and grabbed my full attention, because now I can fully relate to Kyoya in the story. But anyway, one of the other things I also liked about the show is how the people that Kyoya surrounds himself with all ended up leaving a big influence on him in the near future, where everyone is famous and successful in one way or another. And this plays a part later on down the line as he tries to set everyone up for success, knowing that they're all going to be okay and live famous lives. Now, if I had anything negative to say about the story, it would be that there isn't really that much tension or conflict within the anime. Yeah, there are times where Kyoya and his friends are in a tight spot, but most of it gets resolved by Kyoya alone, because he has all the knowledge of the future and knows how things are supposed to play out. On the one hand, from a logical standpoint, if one person on your team has the map to lead you through a crazy maze, then you might as well have them lead the way. But on the other hand, by having Kyoya solve everyone's problems, he's pretty much taken up most of the spotlight, to the point where you don't get that much character development from everyone else. There's a reason for that, because at the end of episode 8, the anime decides to flip the story on its head by showing us the repercussions of Kyoya's actions. Going back to the story's main question, if you can go back in time to redo your life, if you decide to do so, then you also open up the possibility of creating several butterfly effects to not just your life, but to the lives of the people around you as well. Think about it, break the sound barrier and there's a sonic boom. You break the time barrier, there's a time boom, to where everything is changed just a slight bit, but enough to have a huge impact later on down the line. And this is the sort of thing that Kyoya has to live with as he suddenly wakes up 12 years into the future, where he has a completely different life than from the one he had before. Now, at first, this new life is actually better than his previous life, but it isn't until he does a little bit of digging and finds out that all his friends now have completely different lives than from what they were supposed to have. And this makes him feel an unbearable amount of guilt, as he sort of feels responsible for changing everyone's lives. Who wouldn't? I mean, if I went back in time to make my life better, but at the same time also cause the future of most of my friends, I'm pretty sure I'd feel like a piece of crap knowing that I robbed them of their future. Now, Now this is completely different for Kyaoya. While at first he thought he went back in time to fix his future, but later on he believed that he went back in time in order to make sure that everyone else had their future as well. But sometimes you can't have it both ways, and this is the sort of thing that he has to deal with for the duration of the season. Now even though things may look bad, the anime does show you how things do happen for a reason, and that thought alone carries the entire story to the very end, where you begin to see how there's always a silver lining in any situation. I also like how the overall message of the story is to show viewers that you have the power to make your life better. You may have had a rough upbringing and often wonder what your life would have been like had you had done things differently. But that really is in the past, and all we can do now is make good use of the time that we are given at this very moment. So overall, I really enjoy this anime as it really connected with me on a more personal note, to where I felt like I could relate to Kyaoya in some aspect. And with only 12 episodes, you can easily binge through this show, still feel connection to these characters, and wrap up the story nicely with a good ending, giving you a very well contained story. So if you're interested in watching a time traveling slice of life anime, I highly recommend you watch this show. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. That was my overall view for Remake Our Life. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can get the latest updates from this channel. I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye bye.